Hi there, let's take a look at some key quotes from Mrs Birling. Firstly, a key quote from Act 1. I don't think you ought to talk business on an occasion like this. Here's an analysis of this key quote. Mrs Birling, being of a higher social class, understands the rules of pre-war etiquette very well. She scolds her husband for discussing business at the dinner table when they are celebrating and her daughter is present. Society and reputation. Mrs Birling is obsessed with how she and her family are perceived by others. She does not want to risk Gerald thinking they do not know how to behave properly in society, because this could damage the Birlings' reputation. Women. She also disapproves of Mr Birling mentioning business matters in front of Sheila. This is because it was not considered appropriate to discuss business with women, who are thought to be too fragile, unintelligent, and emotionally unstable to take part in such conversations. So, what does she says, I don't think you ought to talk blank on an occasion like this. What is Mrs Birling telling off Mr Birling for discussing? Is it politics, the war, sports, or business? Correct answer is business. I don't think you ought to talk business on an occasion like this. Now let's have a look at a key quote from Mrs Birling in Act 2. It would be much better if Sheila didn't listen to the story at all. Here's an analysis of this quote. Mrs Birling focuses on how her family should behave around other people. She feels that Sheila should not be exposed to the nasty reality of the tale of Eva Smith. She tries to protect Sheila from the harsh truths of life. Class dynamics. This suggests that the club class did their best to avoid recognising the hardships of working class people. These hard truths are considered inappropriate for Sheila to hear. Mrs Birling is happy for Eva Smith, who was around the same age, to experience them first hand. She is lower class. It would be much better if who didn't listen to the story at all. Who is Mrs Birling talking about in this quote? Is it Mr Birling, Sheila, Gerald, or Eric? Correct answer is Sheila. Let's look at a quote from Act 3. I was the only one who didn't give in to him. This is her refusal to accept blame. She views it as a victory that she did not accept any of the blame the inspector tried to lay at her feet. She's almost as smug in this statement, because she mocks the others for answering Inspector Gould's questions truthfully. In some cases, she mocks people for feeling the guilt he was trying to get out of them. Again, this emphasises her selfish, uncaring, and cold nature. The quote again was, I was the only one who didn't give in to him. When Mrs Birling says, I don't think you ought to talk business on an occasion like this, she's telling Mr Birling off here because she is concerned with, firstly, pre-war etiquette, secondly, society and reputation, and thirdly, appropriate conversation in front of women. It would be much better if she didn't listen to the story at all. Which of these is not something implied by the quote? Mrs Birling doesn't want you to listen to the story because the story won't prompt her to leave home. The upper classes did their best to avoid recognising the hardships of working class people. These harsh truths are considered inappropriate for Sheila to hear. Or Mrs Birling feels that Sheila should not be exposed to the nasty reality of the tale of Eva Smith because she cares about how her family behave around others. The correct answer is that it is not implied that Mrs Birling doesn't want Sheila to leave the story because the story might prompt Sheila to leave home. What does this quote suggest about Mrs Birling? I was the only one who didn't give it to him. She's almost smug because she mocks the others for answering the inspector's questions truthfully. And she views it as a victory that she did not accept any of the blame. And that's all you need to know